Well, I definitely remember this one time where we were driving by this ditch and we just came back to the house and decided, let's grab our stuff and go, we'll try and ride it. I think the next day we went out and kind of went for it. GT came with us and we went there and tried riding some of the different peaks and different things they had. The flat was pretty cool, there was some nice downhill, and then Robbie went for it and just hit this steep embankment, and it was just crazy watching him go down. He was kind of on two wheels. His platforms were pitched to the side, so it was kind of like he was holding that grip on a very low surface area on those two wheels, and he rode it out like a surfer and just threw his arms out at the end, up at the end, and that was definitely like a huge casterboarding moment. It opened up the doors. Then GT tried it, then I tried it. It was funny, I had my lacrosse helmet on. I brought it that day because I didn't know what to expect, and I think I had possibly concussed myself the day before. Which actually, if we rewind a little bit, we go back, there was a few days earlier we were filming for the Fox Den, and me and Robbie were just doing some flat ground, and we decided to have this session where we would just kind of mess with our feet and, you know, try and put, you know, both feet on the front paddle, try and switch them up and, you know, kind of cross your legs and, you know, do all these different variations. And I decided, you know, to try and do like an actual hang 10 where you kind of flip to where your toes are over the actual front of the deck. And man, I ate it. I totally just, I kind of went a little bit off center, so the paddle flipped down to the ground and I just went down hard, and all I remember is trying to somehow put my leg out so that I could catch myself. But it was like a big swing and a miss. So that was definitely a fall I won't remember, which then a couple days later wore that lacrosse helmet to another moment that I guess I'll never forget in casterboarding, is when Robbie hit that ditch and went down on like this smooth ride. It was very cool. Back in 2008, we did this Wave Pro Team, like the street surfing West Coast tour, and we went up and down the West Coast and we rode all these skate parks, getting a lot of footy. And I remember there was a lot of good memories of that trip, and there was one that pissed me off a lot. And it was in the beginning of the trip. I actually, and I won't show this footy because I don't even think we have the footy, but I went down and I broke my finger at Venice Beach, and it sucked. It was like the first day of the tour, so I didn't really know, you know, how I was going to do any of my grab tricks or anything like that, you know, for the rest of the trip. And then we get up to San Francisco and it's raining, so we're like, okay, what do we do? It's raining. We were going to go to these outdoor skate parks, so instead we went to these indoor skate parks, and we hit up this place called Ramp Rats. And they had this little mini ramp, and I had never rode a mini ramp before. I had never really done anything like that. There was one skate park in Rhode Island that I had tried to ride, and I never really got into the game. So I dropped in. It was my first day dropping in and trying to do all these different tricks. Didn't really know what the hell I was doing, but it was a good time. And I started developing this 180 turn that I do pretty comfortably now, but one of the last ones of the day. I did the turn, came down, my foot was a little bit off equilibrium, like it was a little bit, and slammed my head hard. I was lucky I was wearing a helmet. Definitely the hardest hit I've ever taken on my head in a skate park.
Easy. Oh!
I came up a little bit dizzy after that, But that's definitely a big memory for me in Casterboarding. I'm surprised I even remember it, but it was definitely something I'll never forget.
Easy. Oh!
There was this other like really cool time, you know, once, you know, this is a couple of years, fast forwarded, we go over to New York. I travel there, meet up with Team Axis. You know, it was the first time we were getting some of these best young riders together to ride. And they had never met each other in person, and they never rode together. So it was pretty interesting, you know, getting them together and seeing all their different personalities clash up. It was pretty cool. And then I took them into New York City, and rule of thumb was we didn't take cabs, we didn't do anything like that. We Casterboard everywhere. We actually, I don't know the exact amount, but it was like 90 blocks we rode down, and we started hitting all these different skate parks, and these kids were just busting tricks that I couldn't even dream of. They were teaching me stuff. It was pretty cool. Some of the most epic footage we ever got was out of that 1 week that those kids got together, and that's the key. You know, when people get together, that's what's up. You know, you start learning a lot more. You play off each other's talents and skills, and you get a lot more competitive. And we went to this place called Lincoln Square, and I guess Dan had been working on his parkour, and he wanted to flip off of this ledge, grab his Casterboard, and then hit this board slide on one of the other ledges. So he started doing it, and we knew that we really shouldn't have been there, but he started doing it. We were doing other filming as well, and he did it like 8 or 9 times and was hitting the flip, but he wasn't hitting the board slide, and it drew attention to us. We were nice and quiet, just hitting the ledges low, and this guy came out, and he actually, you know, gave us a little crap. Told us we can't ride here or whatever. Needless to say, the best part was that Andy Barrasco throws the camera in the guy's face and says, "Please, sir, let us try one more time." Gives Dan one more try, and this was huge. It was so awesome. He got up there, did his flip, grabbed his board, hit the board slide, and it was kind of like that moment where you get that pressure. You only got one more shot at it, and Dan hit it, and it was definitely a cool moment in Casterboarding history. It was funny, and it was something I'll never forget. Dan rocking out.
Thank you so much, sir. You nailed it.
But the biggest memory was probably when we met up with Team Ripstick, and we went to Monrovia Skate Park, and Harley was there, and Allie, and all the guys from the team, and Ryan was there filming. And I decided to go for this 360 early grab that I had just started dialing it in. You know, I landed it once at Venice Beach and once at Whittier Skate Park, but that was really it. So I figured I'd pull it out here because there was this good launch and there was this good spot to do it. And I'd landed the trick before and I was stoked about it, but this was a trick I was dreaming about for a long time, and it kind of took a while to even get the guts to do it, you know, and figure out how I could even do it, you know, with my style of riding. You know, I'm not a big into ollies and stuff like that, you know, so with that early grab I figured that's the first way that I can do this 360 in the air. And, you know, so a couple weeks earlier, having landed the trick, I figured I'll pull it out with Team Ripstick and see if I can make it happen for their video or something we were filming. And I hit it with a lot of speed and came up, and the board actually during the 360 goes over the coping. It's like I kind of went straight up with a little bit of a trajectory, but it was kind of like I was like looking over the ledge on the way on the 180, and then came back, and it was just one of those clean, like perfectly clean on the board landings. I can't describe the feeling to you. It was just something that you go for and you practice so many times. You know, I can't imagine not practicing something over and over again and never getting it. You know, that is the ultimate goal, is to get it one day. And it was really cool to share that with Team Ripstick and show them, you know, that we got some backs in our tricks too, even though we're some of the old school guys. So I'm gonna keep progressing, I'm gonna keep doing my thing, but that was definitely a memory that I'll never forget, is busting that out. But I'm sure it'll only get bigger and better from there.